All right, well, time's upon us, 3:30 here, so we will call the FARGODOME Authority meeting to order for Tuesday, June 24th. First order of business is the agenda. Is there any additional business to the FARGODOME? I'm going to add one item, we'll call it A, and that'll just be a convention center update of what we know at this point, juncture right now. Any other items for additional business?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Thank you, Dan.
Second.
Second from Blake. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Thank you. We'll go on to item number 1, and that is the minutes from May 27th.
Move to approve.
Thank you, Rick. There's
Second.
first, and the second from Todd. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Number 2, old business. Is there any old business in front of the FDA? Hearing none. Item 3, new business. Rob, table's yours.
All right. Thank you. So page 3 is the financials for the month ending May on the left-hand side, year-to-date through May 25 on the right-hand side. May's activity, we had 5 events, 10,700 attendees compared to a budget of 4 events, days, 11,000 attendees. Event income of $47,500 compared to a budget of about $43,600. We had indirect expenses of $440,500, slightly below the $465,000 budgeted number. And so for the month of May, which typically it is, we had a net deficit of $233,000, but that was above the budgeted $259,500. On the event side of things, it was the NDSU commencement, spring commencement, generally consistent with budget. I'm not really sure why our food and beverage sales starting to increase at commencement, but as they get longer and longer, I think we're going to start selling liquor. But hey, it's all right. And then we also had the Western National Gymnastics Championships in the first part of May, which was pretty consistent with budget, about $1,100 below that. Frankly, didn't have any idea what that was going to be like, so we kind of looked at 2014 when we had a gymnastics event, kind of figured based off of that. The meeting rooms were about 1,500 above budget. Other income was about $2,000 below budget. The interest continues to run high, thankfully, and advertising slightly below, and ticket revenue below with the smaller number of ticketed events on sale. On the expense side, operations was about $24,000 below budget. Lower electricity expense is the main factor there. Zach adjusted for some actuals for March and April compared to what was budgeted, and then lower steam heating and cooling for the month, as well as the operations staff did what they could to manage it. So that leaves year to date then 41 events, attendance of just about 131,800. We're about 200 shy of the 132,000 people budget. We've had indirect expenses of $2,172,000, so slightly below the budgeted $2,179,000. And so for the first 5 months, was a budgeted deficit of $255,000, and we are sitting at about $182,000 deficit, so slightly above that budget. You see the rest of the events there. There wasn't a whole lot of event activity, so not much comment there. On the expense side, tracking slightly above budget with the $6,500, mostly due to a larger cost of living increase than we had budgeted. We did have some budgeted savings in April and May from an unfilled position or an open position in food and beverage. That position has been filled as of last week. So we were very pleased to welcome Jason Cook to our team as our food and beverage concessions manager to help Casey kind of get back to some of her normal duties. She's been lacking on something. Oh wait, no. She even in here today? Oh, there she is. No, she's been doing a great job, but it's good to have that back at full staff and get through there. And then the G&A continues a little bit above budget, mainly due to increased insurance, the audit billing, and land lease, which are things we don't, as a staff, don't really have a whole lot of control over there. And operations is about $34,000 below budget. So, any questions on the financials? All right. If there are none, that doesn't conclude my report like I seemed to thought it was, but it's okay. Moving on to past events. Since our last meeting on May 27th, we did have Happy Harry's Rib Fest. So we had that Wednesday the 4th through Saturday the 7th. Only one of the 4 days didn't have any rain on it. And when the rain came, it came at what we always say is the least desirable time, in between that 4:30 and 7 o'clock range. But and as usual, we pick 1/3 of an inch, 1/3 of an inch of rain in that 4 to 8 time period, and the recordings were just below that. But given all that, actually it was pretty successful, good event. Crowds rebounded even on the nights of the rain, so that was pleasant to see. Friday was very, very busy. Saturday morning, we had increased attendance for the NDSU tailgate party, the second year of that, so it was good. So overall, successful Rib Fest. None of the tents blew away, so that's always positive. And the cookers and third-party vendors left very happy, and we did decent food and beverage sales. So I think it was 39,000 for the 4 days. I think definitely a bit of a weather impact, but that happens.
How many ribbers this year?
We had the 7 cookers like we normally do. Yep.
They're not ribbers anymore, they're cookers?
Well, you know, they cook ribs, brisket, pork
Ribbers.
butt, chicken sandwiches, nachos. We'll just call them cookers. Sounds more professional. Sounds more sophisticated for having something in a dusty parking lot.
How many years of Rib Fest now? Total years? 20.
30 years next year.
Wow, blow it out. Wow.
Blow it out.
What? A marketer.
Just keep going with it, Rob. Everyone's gonna believe it, so 30 years next year.
My team at the team count used to come over every day. Nice.
So yeah, it'll be the 30th year of having it since we took 1 year off. But yeah, so over 30 years, it's been great longevity, and just had a meeting prior to this, and looks like we're going to continue it. So I lost the bet. But yeah, so then this year was a little bit unique, as we always typically hosted high school graduations, the Fargo High School graduations, the Sunday before Happy Harry's Rib Fest, and then run into it. But this year we actually did it the Sunday afterwards. I haven't really had any hugely negative things brought to our attention for the impact of that. Worked a lot with the high schools up in advance, just making sure they were kind of having an idea of what the outside of the facility would look like. But however, being back here early Sunday morning to take down signs and do some more cleanup, our operations staff and event services staff and custodial staff did a really good job of having parking lot be as clean and tidy as it really could be for that event, so that the parents of the kids, I really don't think the kids care about their graduation. The parents of the children, and you can enjoy the ceremony as much as possible with that. So that was on Sunday the 8th. Football turf came out quick for 1 week of NDSU's individual football camp on the 13th, 14th, and 15th of June. Went back in, and this past weekend we hosted Theo Vaughn on Saturday the 21st. I think a good crowd for a Saturday in June in Fargo, North Dakota. Over 6,300, something like that. So overall good event, which brings us up to today. Comments or questions from anybody on past events? Okay. Moving forward, we have the week of the 4th off. Everybody can get a well-deserved rest over a little bit busier than normal June, and then get ready for the return of USA Wrestling. They'll start showing up into the building June 7th and 8th, that Monday, Tuesday, loading in that full week, setting up with wrestling starting on Saturday the 12th and running through Saturday the 19th. They will get cleaned up and moved out, and we will have the Hosier concert on Sunday the 27th of July, taking us up to our next meeting on July 29th. Any other comments, questions, past, upcoming, future events from board members? Or other questions?
At this point in the year, can you look for concerts for 25, or is everything 26 at this point?
No, we're still, the concert cycle, all that's been real strange, but it's been very slow for secondary, tertiary markets. It's not unique to Fargo. It's everywhere. And actually, you always hear how robust and how great touring is, and that's the top 5%. Below that, it is slowed down. There are tours going off the road for whichever reasons. It's not a sign of the end of the world coming. It's just there was a lot of pent up energy 5 years ago, and they spent the last 3 years wading through that energy and catching up and correcting, and it just kind of slowed down for this year. You've got a lot of with the cost of touring, frankly, of keeping the trucks and the buses on the road and the planes in the air, even though they're trying to reduce their carbon footprint, a lot of them are taking the tact of, okay, we'll do stadium shows, and we can do the equivalent of 3 to 6 arena shows in one stadium show, or even 2 stadium shows, and bring the people to us versus them going everywhere. So there's a little bit of that. 26, there's good interest in 26. There's still interest in the rest of 25, but Fargo continues to be a tougher market to get to. It's a unique building in the size of building in the market size we are. Different things such as that, but it just we've had good prospects that have dropped off, but maybe get them next year. So or in 27. So 25 is, I'm not going to say it is what it is yet, because I know there's a couple of things, but and there's always a chance for some stuff looking around. But we have a couple of open weekends that we'll continue to try to find touring shows with. Otherwise, we'll fill them with some football or different things such as that. So.
All right, any further questions of Rob with respect to the general manager's report? Thank you, Rob. Item B, committee reports. Rick, table's yours.
Blake.
Yeah.
Blake.
Yes,
Oh, that's
I
right.
was not here.
Missed one time,
I know.
one meeting, and all of a sudden forget about
I
you.
filled in for Rick, and I didn't do a good job, but I filled in. So, May month-to-date and year-to-date financials were presented and approved at the 6/18 meeting. Project updates, Rob updated the committee that Dome staff is working with the city of Fargo Engineering on replacing some of the sidewalk on the northeast side of the building. Start end of July, finish early September. See the statement position, the escrow balance was presented at the meeting. The 331 balance was presented of $44,258,000. And then on additional items, Rob updated the committee on the NDSU operating lease agreement being renewed for 1 year. No other changes to the terms of that agreement, just a 1-year renewal. And then Dave updated the committee that the city published the RFP for the convention center, and that Rob, Dave, and Rick met with RLE to discuss a response to that RFP. And that was it for my update for the committee for building and finance. Entertain a motion to approve as
So moved.
presented.
Got a first from Rick, a second from Dan. This will be roll call.
Todd,
Yes.
Troy,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Rick.
Yes.
All right, thank you, appreciate it, Blake. And then the last one is item 4A, and that's Convention Center update, and Blake covered that, what I just wanted to cover is that the city has published the RFP, we are in receipt of it, we did have a kickoff meeting with myself, Rick, and Rob with RLE to have very, very high-level discussion on approaching that, so, that was done, and so now we're moving on to the next step, and that is to tackle this RFP, so there'll be more to come on that. Rob, do you recall when the drop dead date is for the RFP?
I believe any questions, public questions are due July 11, and I believe it's August 7th
That's what I was
is when
thinking.
any responses, if there should be any, are due.
So those are our two dates, obviously August 7th is the most important one, so we'll continue to tackle that, so that's the update on the convention center, so, questions? Any other additional business before the FDA? Hearing none, we're adjourned.